I seemed to read minds. I knew when people were lying to me. When I was 6 years old, something grabbed me in the back of the neck in the middle of the night, scared the living daylights out of me. So that was the inception of my paranormal experience. But there were other things too. My brother, when I was a senior in high school, he was walking home from band practice. I knew something was wrong with him, and I was concerned about him, so I was sitting in the doorway waiting for him to get home, and I was waiting to hear his footfalls on the driveway. He didn't come, and all of a sudden, the air went dead quiet. No birds, no wind, nothing. There was this flashes of light that, again, petrified me. I don't know what the heck that was. It was like what people refer to as ball lightning. It scared me, so I got back into the house, but I kept waiting for my brother, and then the next thing I know, I heard the footfalls in the driveway. And I met him at the door, and I said, "What happened tonight?" And he goes, "Nothing happened." I said, "Come on, you're lying to me, Wes." He said, "No, nothing happened." Well, 4 years later, I found out he was in a car accident that night. And he was lucky. It was an MG, and it rolled over, but he was okay, and he had to walk home. It was a mile away. Home was a mile away. But that was very odd. So it was stuff like that, one after the other. You get these strange experiences, and they don't necessarily fit into any one particular category.
Psychic empath Lynn M. Nickerson shows us around the James house. It's a hulking wooden relic from the 1700s. Many generations have passed through these doors, but based on local lore, not all have left. Lynn herself seems to share this gift with the house, the gift of never quite being alone.
I think the paranormal is so multifaceted. I'm open to just about everything, because from my experiences, I'm not someone who just has, I get smells or I get names. It's a myriad of different experiences.
I've heard you refer. Would you refer to yourself as a psychic empath, perhaps?
Psychic empath, yes, that's what that's about the way I can categorize myself, because I really do get an awful lot of feelings from things. I lived in Kittery for quite a while. It was an old Victorian, and there were a lot of strange things that happened to me while I was there. I did have 3 out-of-body experiences. The big one was one night I took off flying and I went to this neighborhood. And it was summertime. It was someplace I had never been before. It was a hazy summer day. And I found this house, and I was flying in and out of the windows, and they had curtain shears in the windows, and they were flapping in the breeze. I remember being warm. I couldn't hear anything. It was very muted. So I'm flying in and out of this house, and it was familiar to me. There was no furniture in the living room that I was visiting, but I knew somebody lived there. It was probably a summer home at that time. So the house sat at the end of a field which overlooked a bluff over a river. There were very few houses around, and the grass was all dry. There was a path leading up to the house. It was broken by a stone wall that was perpendicular to it, and the next thing was, a few steps away was the front porch. Window on either side, door in the center, and then on the left-hand side of the house was a row of lilac trees. And they were small. They were young. Someone had recently planted them. So I woke up. I thought, where the heck did I go? I haven't seen this place, but I mean, it was so distinct. So that was when I was living in Kittery. I moved across the river, across the Piscataqua into Portsmouth, and I moved into a section of town called Atlantic Heights. And I was living there for about 2 years, and I walked around the neighborhood one day, really on the fringes of the neighborhood, in one of the little side streets, and I found the house. And it just blew my mind. Now, since the dream, there were a couple of newer houses, but there was still that field, and it overlooked the bluff of the Piscataqua River. It was just on the opposite side of the bank of where I lived before, when I had the dream. The stone wall was still there, the 2 windows and the door in the front, little path to the front. and the lilac trees were there, but they were all grown. And the odd thing is, it was late spring, early summer, because all of the lilacs were in bloom. And in the dream, I could smell the lilacs. There's this fragrance on the air. It was really wonderful. So I was really pleased to have found the house, but I still didn't understand the significance of the dream or the altered state of reality. But there was the element of an out-of-body experience and the element of time travel. There was a passage of time, and I went back to the past. But whose past? And if there was someone there, was I someone's ghost? Was someone who perceived me as a ghost? I don't know. Truly, I still think it's just a big puzzle. Even when you die, I still don't think that when people pass over that they get all the answers. They may have a grander perspective, but as we know, there are different levels of ascension. There are different, the angelic realm, and then those who are our guides, Christ and Buddha and whatnot. They're different levels of knowledge and awareness. So I don't think we just pass over and know everything. I think there's growth on the other side. So when we pass over, we're still not going to know everything. We're still not going to understand this world entirely. I think you have to evolve. There's just no one straight answer to the paranormal.